Welcome, everyone. I am so grateful that you're here. In our first slide, we introduce some of the universal laws of abundance, and we began exploring how energy matches in our lives, how energy moves in our lives. And today we're continuing with this topic. Today's session focuses on three foundational principles: coherence, energy and attention, and completion. I wrote it backwards here. Energy and attention, coherence, and completion. These principles influence how organized and available our energy is. Abundance is connected to our internal energy, meaning that when our energy is organized, we feel more clear, more grounded, and more alert. Now let's take a moment to take a slow breath, deep inhale. Long exhale, and let's begin. Our first foundational principle is that energy follows attention. Can you see my board? There. Energy follows attention. That's better. Have you heard the saying, energy flows where attention goes? Well, this is true because attention is an energetic investment. Where our attention goes, our life force goes. So where is your attention going? If our attention is spread across many places, many things, our energy becomes scattered. For example, this is our attention, right? Our focus. If our focus is in one thing, these will have more power, right? However, if our attention becomes scattered, that means that our focus is divided in different places. Our energy becomes scattered. So if our attention spread across many unfinished things, our energy becomes scattered. These can include unfinished decisions, unfinished projects, unmade decisions, clutter around us, conversations that we mean to have but we don't, excuse me, or those conversations that we keep replaying in our mind, or those situations that we keep meaning to address but we just don't. Those are pulling our energy, weakening our energy. Hey guys, welcome. Type in the comments where you're watching from. Thank you for being here. So even when we're not consciously thinking about them, they remain active in the background. They are pending in the back of our mind, using up our resources, our energy. Our nervous system, imagine our nervous system like a sort of like a ledger. A ledger can keep track of what is settled and what is still outstanding. And our nervous system does the same thing. It tracks what is resolved and what still needs our attention. Hey, Linda, how are you? Oh, okay. I'll be quiet. We don't want your boss to know that you're here. Thanks for watching. So like I was saying, our nervous system does something similar. It tracks what is completed and what still needs our attention. Oh, so happy you're here. So every experience, every decision, and every commitment is like an entry in this ledger. And when something is not completed, that entry stays open. And that open entry requires monitoring, and the monitoring requires energy. And that's what we call an open energy loop. That is basic. An open energy loop is simply something that is unfinished and that it has not reached completion, closure. Our nervous system keeps it available just in case an action needed. And then this open loop begins to use some of our energy in the background, right? When many loops remain open, our available energy becomes depleted. And abundance is deeply connected to the energy that we have available. When energy is gathered and focused, it flows freely and more natural. However, when the energy is distributed across many incompletes, progress can feel slow or like it's just not happening. So bringing attention back, bringing our focus back can begin to restore our strength, restoring our energy. Now let's explore coherence. Coherence means alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you do is an internal harmony. When our thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, our energy strengthens. When our thoughts move one way and our emotions move another, our energy divides. It's the same thing here, right? So our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and our actions. When they all go in the same direction, there is harmony, there is balance. But if we begin to split ourselves and our thoughts go one way, but we really feel it another way, and we just do something different, then it becomes a mess. There's no coherence, right? So our energy divides, it weakens. So, for example, we can say that we want to lose weight. That's the intention. Then we reach for the first cookie that we see. In that moment, our intention and our actions are moving in different directions. That split is a lack of coherence. It requires more energy to maintain. Let me do something here. Hold a second. There we go. And there's no alignment. Now, when our words, our internal decision, and our actions support each other, our energy strengthens. There is coherence, there is a balance. So, coherence is the experience of internal harmony. If this feels true for me and I feel aligned with the choice, I am willing to take the steady steps, right? Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions aligned in harmony. And coherence doesn't really require perfection. It requires honesty and willingness. Where there is internal agreement, the nervous system will settle. When the nervous system settles, clarity becomes accessible. And clarity organizes energy. Organized energy increases momentum. This is why coherence is basic for abundance. Abundance will respond to clarity and strength in our nervous system. Now, moving on to completion. Energy returns when something reaches conclusion, when we complete a loop, right? When we close an energy loop. The energy that we invested in a situation becomes available again when we have achieved closure. And completion can look like finishing a task, releasing a commitment, choosing a new direction, having a conversation, writing what was never expressed, or naming a pause intentionally. This completion helps our energy to settle, and once a decision is made, the nervous system can relax. So when we finish something, our nervous system will be able to find and relax, and our energy will settle. Once we make a decision, our nervous system can let go of it. The ledger is completed. Now, indecision keeps energy circulating, and arriving to a conclusion gathers our energy back. We can feel completion in our body when there's more ease, more presence, and more mental space. When our energy opens like that, we begin to connect with our creativity once again. We become available, mentally, emotionally available. And this openness, this energy will support will support the flow of abundance in our life. Abundance, abundance, abundance in our life, right? Sometimes I trip over my tongue. I want to leave you with a few reflections. You can write this down and take your time reflecting on them. Where is your attention invested? What is pulling your attention and your energy? What unfinished decisions is asking for a conclusion, for clarity? Perhaps something that you postponed and you haven't decided yet. Where do your thoughts and feelings need alignment? Where is there a disharmony between your thoughts and your feelings? So you can discover where there might be some incoherence or lack of coherence in you. And what is one small completion that you can choose to do this week? It can be something very simple, like sending a message that you've been postponing forever, or making a choice, or clearing a small space. It doesn't have to be a whole room, just like a nightstand or a drawer or, a shelf in the pantry, something. And when you do this, notice how it feels. Just pause for a moment and notice how it feels. Or it could also be releasing a commitment, something that has become burdensome and you're no longer in line with. Allow yourself to release it, free yourself from it. Or setting a boundary. When we allow for small completions, we begin to build coherence. And coherence will strengthen our energy. And our energy, once we're able to recover the energy that's been scattered, will feel stronger, more clear, more balanced, supporting for the flow of abundance in our lives. So take a deep breath and notice how your body feels. And know that your clarity begins within. Thank you so much for being here. Do you guys have any questions? If you do, write them in the comments. And if you like my topics, I invite you to follow me and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments what resonated with the most with you today. We will continue exploring these principles in the future sessions. I plan going live on Tuesdays and Fridays. Fridays probably around, I'm thinking around 12:30 Central Standard Time. And Tuesday's still pending. I'm still trying different times. So I will make an announcement in my YouTube channel so you guys can be on the loop. So we'll continue with these principles, the universal laws of abundance, and we'll bring more depth into how they apply to our daily life. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time.